Keeps it a little cooler, too, with the clouds as well. Hey, everybody knows what a sunburn looks and feels like, right? But did you know there's such a thing as sun poisoning?
Yes, Dr. Holly Gunn is a dermatologist at the University of Alabama at Birmingham Hospital. Dr. Gunn, thank you so much for taking time with us. Good morning to you. So let's get right to it. What's the difference between that run-of-the-mill sunburn and when it crosses that line to sun poisoning?
Sun poisoning is when you're starting to have internal symptoms too. You can start having fever, you can start having chills, you can start having nausea. You really don't feel good, and it can even be life-threatening.
Wow. So who runs the biggest risk of coming down with sun poisoning?
It's those with the extremes of age. So that's why we want to keep our small children out of the sun, especially when they're too early to use a lot of sunscreen, or your advanced stages. So the elderly, if they're being left out in the sun and don't really have a good way to get out of the sun, those are the ones that are at risk. But also any of us are at risk, especially if we're at the beach and having a good time. If you drink a little too much alcohol, you get dehydrated and you get a severe sunburn, you could get sun poisoning.
All right, so we've made the connection between sun poisoning and how we're feeling. What's the first thing that we need to do to get the treatment going?
Well, you want to stay hydrated, so make sure you're drinking plenty of water. And if you're playing sports in the sun, make sure that that you're using some electrolytes too, rather than just pure water. So stay hydrated. Of course, use sunscreen before you even get out there. But if you start having symptoms, get out of the sun too.
So, doctor, how do we know if we have applied enough sunscreen to protect our skin from things like sun poisoning?
That's a great question. Before you ever get into the sun, make sure you find a 30 or higher. Look for the ones that have zinc oxide or titanium dioxide in them. And if you get in the sun and you feel that burning sensation or that sting or that burn, then you probably don't have enough on. I would reapply. And if it still keeps happening, get out of the sun, because you could be having a reaction to your sunscreen too.
And one more question. When do we know it's time to go beyond just doing something ourselves and going to seek medical attention?
Well, as dermatologists, we tend to see those patients that get rashes from the sun, and that could be within the first 5 minutes of being in the sun, or it could be for extended periods of time. So for your dermatologist, that's when you're itchy or rashy. Now, if you're having severe symptoms like nausea, dizziness, or you just feel disoriented, that's when you should go straight to an emergency room.
All right, great information. Dr. Holly Gunn in Birmingham, Alabama, thanks for joining us this morning.
All right, we are going to continue that theme throughout the show.